also indulge in something that you have said, no, I can't totally have that because it's going to make me feel fat or whatever. Like if you really want a slice of pizza, don't have the whole box. It's easier said than done. But have a moment to just take in the pleasures of life. It's me saying it also to myself because I can overly restrictively parent myself to the point where I don't feel like I'm living enough. So it's like a lot of self-love. Stop apologizing for not being whatever you think you should be. And just say, hey, I am this being. And this is awesome. Even if it sounds crazy, my grandma used to tell me all the time, she's like, every time I wake up in the morning, I tell myself, hey, you're beautiful. Hello, good looking. And that, as crazy as it sounds, and it might sound, to yourself, if you've never done it before, it changes your whole vibe, your whole energy. There's also foods you'll notice, and I was talking about this last Friday. I was a feature at Poetic Lakai, and all of my homies came, like a crew of mine, and they come from all different walks of life. And I was telling them that, when your chakras are off, your body subconsciously tells you, because if you go to the grocery store and let's say you just go through the vegetable and fruit area, the produce area, and you just mindlessly start picking stuff, look at your cart and see what colors you have there. And it will tell you what is probably either too high or too low. Because let's say you have yellow peppers and carrots and oranges and I don't know what else is orange. All this orange stuff. Persimmons. I like persimmons. It's because your sacral chakra, there's something off balance. And your body is trying to help you feel better. So, see, they have mangoes, almonds, sweet potatoes, papaya, coconuts. They even got coconuts here. So, food, good food. Color therapy. I have a salt lamp. I have recommended salt lamps. It gets me going. So when I don't feel as energetic as I, usually am, then I'm like, oh, I got to get to work. I turn on my salt lamp. It doesn't put me all the way up, but it's like, okay, it's time for me to do, record this episode, work on stuff, get into action. I also recommend decorating with orange and wearing orange if that is the chakra you're trying to work on. And it can also be a very light blue or white. I recently read and found that out. They have a sacral chakra visualization. And that's basically thinking of the color orange and doing a meditation with it as a light. Do something you'd never done before that you've wanted to do. That kind of rush, it's going to activate what hasn't been activated in a while. Really and truly, it's just find what excites you and do that, especially if you haven't in a long time. Also, walk in grass or dirt if you're cool with that. Or in my case, I was at the beach. It helps ground you, and it kind of the earth helps reset all the I don't know, the weird stuff that we have, that we take in, that we breathe in, the artificial light and all that, it helps recenter you into your body. Get sexually creative. And that can mean whatever you want it to mean. I mean, kinks, research, with or without somebody. That's a whole new world, like Aladdin said. There's also oils. I love bergamot. They also have orange oil, rosewood, jasmine, neroli, and you can diffuse it. You can mix it with almond oil or a carrier oil, like a lighter oil that you can mix the essential oil with, because too concentrated, it might give you a reaction or what have you. Yoga is so dope. It fixes so many things. Even if you don't exactly know what you're doing, trying it out really helps. I recommend yoga with Adriene. And just looking in YouTube, like sacral chakra, and see what comes up. There's frequencies and crystal bowls, and I know this all sounds like really mystical, but like, we're all made of energy. And if we want to do creative things, then that energy needs to be on point along with the others. But we're talking about the sacral chakra today. There is a chant, Vam. So you can say Vam and like keep repeating that to yourself and just have fun. We tend to forget that creating is because we create because it's fun, because it's what moves us, it's what excites us. What is the point of creating if it gives us no joy? Sometimes creating can be lucrative and sometimes it completely isn't. And so what is your why? If it's just for a reason that doesn't give you life, then is there a point to it? Unless, hey, if it is for money and that helps fuel whatever else you want to do, then dope. There's a type of passion there for you. So I just wanted to discuss the sacral chakra because it is super important. And whoever will be doing Nanowrimo, definitely hit me up on our new Twitter, which is Creatively Exposed, and that is just with the X to no E, as well as Instagram. It's also Creatively Exposed. Send me an email, Creatively Exposed, since it looks like somebody had exposed with the E. Everything is Creatively Exposed without the E. And tell me your thoughts. I'm gearing up for Nanowrimo. I'm probably starting on the 5th. And I have my collection of poetry that I have been like sleeping on for the longest. So I am planning to work on it and finalize it and do the final edits, as well as a YA fantasy that I started earlier this year, and see how far I can get. Even if I don't make the 50,000, it will rev my engine up to get things going. So there's also a Podimo that I just found out, where if there's any other podcasters listening, you can probably find it on Facebook, and that's recording all 30 days. So I'll probably be talking about my Nanowrimo breakthroughs, breakdowns, because 50,000 words feels like a lot. but it's not impossible. So I just want to work on being consistent with my creative work. Sometimes it falls through the wayside, and it makes me feel a little crazy because in the back of my mind, it's like, these books, they're calling for me. I should be writing. So I hope you enjoyed. Another thing that I thought of as I was listening back is Flowers by Orange and Golden Flowers, or light blue flowers, or white flowers. And just put them in your house. It adds that pop of color. Or Dance also is a fun one. So just a little tidbit that came to my mind as I was listening back. I have been stalking Anchor for the longest. I've seen how easy it is to edit stuff, to record from your phone, work on it with your computer. I've even done some testing with friends to see how it works. So it's super easy. It sounds really, really good. You're listening to me right now. And they'll put it everywhere that you listen to podcasts. From Apple to Google to Spotify and everywhere else. And you can make money from it without, having this huge base of people. So download Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started and do what you've been wanting to do now. So what are you listening to? I just finished in time for Halloween. I'm recording early, actually. I just finished Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. And this book was really interesting because it's basically like, well, it's inspired by Mexican folklore, but it felt like a type of mythology of sorts. I'm just going to read a little bit of the description. It says, the Mayan god of death sends a young woman on a harrowing, life-changing journey in this dark, one-of-a-kind fairy tale inspired by Mexican folklore. And I am obsessed with the character's name because it's so different. Her name is Cassiopeia Tung, and it kind of feels like Cinderella hits a lick and she ends up opening a new world to like this whole fantastical voyage to freedom, basically. Instead of a prince coming to save her, it's like a whole plot twist you didn't expect. It's really fantastical. It was really fun, hilarious. It discusses the themes of forgiveness, kindness, perseverance, and love, as well as life and death. I think those are the most important themes there, as well as the dynamic of patriarchy that lives within most of our communities, especially the Latino community. I feel like it's really strong. So that was pretty neat to see it in her point of view as an insider, outsider of the family. And then it got really dark and gruesome, but like in a good way. And I enjoyed the world that she built because you can visualize the world inside of a world inside of a world.